Brothers and sisters, today in Looking for God in All the Wrong Places, our sermon is about the song From a Distance by Bette Midler. Now, just a little background, the song was written by Judy Gold and first sung by Nancy Griffith in 1987 and it appeared on her album Lone Star State of Mind. Bette Midler performed it on her album. Damn it, now I can't remember. It doesn't matter. The thing is, it was 1990. She released it in 1990 on whatever album she had at that time. I forgot. I should have written it down. I knew I should have. Man. Well, okay. Never mind. Now, for those of you who are only a little bit familiar with Bette Midler, she is a Renaissance woman. So some people know her as a singer. Some people know her as an actor. Some people know her as a comedian. In fact, her third album was a comedy album. It was called Mud Will Be Flung Tonight. And it was released in 1985. So she had two music albums and then a comedy album. And her comedy album was more like spoken word. She had a band backing her up. It did okay, you know. People know Bette Midler for her campy and sometimes close to vulgar style. I'm saying close to vulgar. I don't think she's vulgar, but there are people who do. But with that as a backdrop, this song, this hopeful pop number, released in 1990, depicts God watching our troubled world from a distance. Okay, now this is going to be important later on when we discuss perspectives. It celebrates the peace, harmony, and hope that await us in his kingdom, where there are no guns, no violence, no bombs, no hunger, no disease, according to her rendition, because unless you've been there, you don't know. You know, I mean, you think about it just for a moment. The Bible often refers to a holy war, the war between good and evil, heaven and hell. And now, of course, a lot of the weapons are trumpets and swords and stuff like that. But who's to say there aren't any bombs, you know? At least an F-bomb. What the fuck are you doing up here? You see, we weren't there. We don't know. But the song begins, at least the Bette Midler version begins thus. From a distance, the world looks blue and green, and the snow-capped mountains white. From a distance, the ocean meets the stream, and the eagle takes to flight. Now, there's a couple of things to mention here, okay? First of all, the sheer fact she says from a distance. Now, from a distance, this is a perspective matter, okay? If you back off far enough and you look at the earth, okay, it says it looks blue and green, okay? Looks blue and green. We know that it has many, many, many more colors because we can see it because we are closer to it. From a distance, you miss all of that, see? And if you go even further, it's a big blue marble, right? They talk about the big blue marble. They don't talk about the big blue and green marble. The big blue marble, that's way distant. So she's not that far out. She's far enough away that you can see the blue and the green, but you don't see the other multitude of colors. This is important because it's letting you know how much is being missed and how much is being seen, okay? And it says the snow-capped mountains white, okay? From a distance, the ocean meets the stream. Now, oh yes, and the eagle takes flight. So is now far enough that she can still see the eagle taking flight. Not maybe anything else about the eagle, but the eagle has more. There's more to the eagle's life than just taking flight. But from a distance, you don't get to see that nitty gritty. All right. And also, it's I'll give you another one more example, very concrete example. If you pull out a $20 bill or dollar bill, whatever money you happen to have, and you probably have it because you didn't donate it to us when we passed around the plate, but that's okay. We'll talk about that later. When you hold it up, if you just hold it out at arm's length, it looks like one picture, okay? But the closer you get, you realize that money, the artwork, is actually a series of dots. It's dots and lines. That's it. It's not like a photograph or a drawing. It's dots and lines. And the closer you get, the bigger the dots get. But back here, it's just one piece. You don't see the dots. You don't see the lines. You just see that you can spend it and not get as much as you used to. The other thing about this verse, okay, it deals with the sense of sight. Okay, this first verse is all sight. Okay, you're looking at the world. You're not experiencing anything else about it. You're just looking at it from a distance. Now, the second verse, from a distance, there's harmony, okay? And it echoes through the land. It's the voice of hope. It's the voice of peace. It's the voice of every man. See, this second verse deals with sound, a second sense, okay? A second sense. And again, from a distance, sound gets muddled. It takes a while to travel. If you've ever been to a concert, like a big venue, and you're way the fuck in the back, if you look with binoculars on the stage and you watch your performer and the performer sings a word, you see it. And it takes a second and a half a second for it to get all the way back there to you. Okay? So the first verse is sight. And when you're looking, it's almost immediate. The second verse is sound. And what you get from a distance is a lag. Okay? This is science, but this is also a spiritual thing. Because you experience the same thing at different times. Now, so it says, from a distance there's harmony, and it echoes through the land. It's going to take a little time. See, it's the voice of hope, it's the voice of peace, and the voice of every man. So from a distance, that's what it seems like. But if you get closer, the individual voices aren't all talking about peace. You get closer, the individual voices aren't all talking about hope. The closer you get, the more specific the sounds are, the more disharmony you hear. But from a distance, you can still have that hope and peace. You can still hear it. It says sight, that's sound. Now, the third verse, from a distance, we all have enough, okay? And no one is in need. There are no bombs, no guns, and no disease, no hungry mouths to feed, okay? That's all taste, okay? We're talking taste here. We have enough to eat, that's taste. A third sense brought into this. And again, if you look at it from a distance, okay, first of all, if you're trying to taste from a distance, you're tasting with smell, okay? Just so you know, when you smell something, you're tasting it with your nose, okay? So I guess that's two senses, because when you're up close, you can lick it, Okay. When you get back, you can't lick it. You can smell it, but you know what it should taste like. Okay. So perhaps there's two senses here, taste and smell. But from a distance, it's a difference in perception. Okay. Now I'm taking my time with this stuff because this all sets up the fourth verse. Okay. Well, I'm sorry, the fifth verse, or maybe it's the refrain. It's a bunch of words in the middle. But the next part says, from a distance, we are instruments marching in a common band, playing songs of hope, playing songs of peace. They're the songs of every man. Now, this echoes the second verse. Well, again, we're talking about sound, but they're talking about harmony. But this is more, is less passive because we're playing, we're participating, we are in the marching band. Now, if you've ever been to a sporting event and you've seen a marching band, if you get too close, you don't get to see what there's two things going on in a marching band. There's the sound, but then there's the visual aspect. In the visual aspect, they're making different shapes. They're spelling out words, and they're making these designs, and you can only see them from a distance. If you get closer to the band, you can hear them. You can see the sweat on the tuba player. You can see the calluses on the snare drum player. You can probably smell the sweat from some of the majorettes. That's if you get close. But if you want the full experience of the marching band and the instruments and the music and the songs, you have to back up to see what is going on with the sounds. What messages are they also sending with the sound, with the sight? Now, again, all of this seems kind of mumbo jumbled because we've left out a very important part. And that's this part here, the refrain. God is watching us. Okay. And she repeats that 3 times, kind of like in the Bible, in the Trinity, and 3 is a magic number. God is watching us. God is watching us 3 times. And then she says, from a distance. Okay. That's the important part because now we get a better glimpse, at least from my perspective, because from a distance, you can't see all the things that need to be done. From a distance, you're an observer. You're not an active participant. Says God is watching us. Doesn't say God is doing anything about it. God is just watching us from a distance. Okay, that's it. God is not helping. God is not cleaning. God is not, just watching from a distance. And because he's from a distance, he's not getting the whole picture. Can't see all the nitty gritty, the details. Okay, it's like you're going for a walk, going for a nature walk, and you're just walking along the grass, and the grass is beautiful, and the grass is green, and the grass is soft, and you're just, and your feet, you got your shoes off, and you can feel the coolness of the grass, and how sometimes it's a little rough on the bottom of your feet, and you just walk, and you feel it, and then you get a little sting or something, and then you look down, and you get closer, and you notice an ant, and then 2 ants, and then a line of ants, and then you get down on the ground, and you see how get close to the ants, to the point where you see the chaos, okay? You see the savagery, how they just attack and kill, okay? But when you're back, you don't see that. You just see a grass. You don't see the ants. You don't see the savagery in nature. Now, I'm using that loosely because nature is not really savagery. It's nature. That's what it does. That's what they do, plain and simple. They don't have a moral compass. It's nature. We supposedly have a moral compass, okay? But because we don't always think God is watching, we don't follow it. Or maybe you think God is watching and you just don't think God is going to do anything. Like the song, like this says, God is watching from a distance. Does not say that God is acting. Again, in this song, written by Judy Gold. You want to blame somebody? Blame Judy Gold. or Bette Midler or Nancy Griffin. Perhaps God is too far away. Or if God were closer, God wouldn't like what God sees. So maybe the distance is on purpose. Maybe if God got closer and saw what was going on, God would have to act. It's like being it's like if you're a parent and you're downstairs and the kids are upstairs and they're making a bunch of noise and you hear the noise and you say, they're playing, I'll just let them play. Then you hear one go, ow! And you go like, okay, is that a serious cry or is that a cry for serious help? Okay, but from a distance, you don't get involved. And you may yell, you may say, you guys cut that out, to see if they cut that out. And if they don't cut that out, then you walk upstairs. And once you see what's going on in that room up close, now you're like, I have to act. They've seen me see them. I've seen them. They've seen me see them. So I have to act. I cannot let this go on. So you can reprimand them. But whatever it is, now you're involved because you're not from a distance. That's kind of like God right now. From a distance, just saying, okay, you guys behave. Don't make me come down there. Don't make me turn this world around. The next line, the next verse. From a distance, you look like my friend, even though we are at war. From a distance, I just cannot comprehend what all this fighting's for. Now, we're back to sight. We're back to seeing. From a distance, you look like my friend. Now, I don't think she's saying you look like a particular friend. It's just like you look like someone who's not going to harm me. Someone, from a distance, we look like we can get along. From a distance. But as I get closer, I realize we're at war. Your kind, whatever they are, and my kind, whatever they are fighting. And she's not sure what we're fighting for. She's not, says, I don't know why we're fighting. I just know we're fighting. But if we back up, we look like friends. So how far back do we have to get before we stop fighting? And is it the closeness that's making us fight? The proximity is like the threat. You're in my space. You're touching my resources. Or I'm scared you're taking my space. I'm scared you're touching my resources, whatever that resource is. And so now I feel like you must fight, even if it's just something that was created in their minds. In Africa, there are wars instigated by the French, where the Black natives didn't have any differences. Just like we've been getting along for a while, then the French goes, we can exploit this. There are differences. Their noses are 1 centimeter wider. Their noses are a centimeter narrower. So the narrow nosed ones, we are going to favor, and we are going to let the other side think that they're stealing their resources and they can fight it out. And while they're fighting it out, we can stand back at a distance and enjoy the spoils of war. So from a distance, you look like my friend. Look like my friend. But she acknowledges that up close, they are warring. The next verse, from a distance, okay, now we're back to sound again. From a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land. And it's the hope of hopes. It's the love of loves. It's the heart of every man. Now, there's, again, from a distance. Because up close, not every man, their heart, we know that their heart is not full of hope. Not every man's heart is full of love. Okay? But from a distance, it seems like it. From a distance, there's harmony. Okay, we go back to the ants. We go back to nature. From a distance, we see harmony. But if you're in the nitty gritty, like I said, I'm going back to those ants, because if you've ever watched an ant tear apart something, they are ferocious. Pound for pound, some of the most dangerous critters in the animal kingdom. Pound for pound, because it's not just one ant that's just dangerous. It's the mentality, the cohesiveness which would they attack, yes. And mankind from a distance seems like a peaceful kind of thing, but when you get up close, you see the desperation, you see the confusion, you see the disharmony that you do not see from a distance. And she continues to reiterate this. She said, well, she's reiterating hope. It's the hope of hopes. It's the love of loves. It's the song of every man, or for every man. Before it's of every man, and now it's for every man. See, it's the heart of every man. And then she's saying it's the song for every man. Okay? She's singing this for them. Because of them means it's coming from them. And maybe it's coming from them and they don't hear it. But now they're saying, now this song is for you. Please hear it. This song is for you. This song of hope is for you. This song of love is for you. Please hear it. And then we go back to the refrain where it says, and God is watching us. Again, 3 times. And God is watching us. God is watching us from a distance. Why is God keeping the distance? Why? Like I said, I maintain that's just the nature of God. God is just so far beyond what we are that he really cannot get involved. But that's just me. Again, this song is not about what I think. It's about what I think they think when they think and what they thought. Right. That's it. So, now, thank you, Sister Ann. Thank you. Now, brothers and sisters, when I repost this, I will put the link in for the song so that you can hear the Bette Midler version. And I don't know for certain if my interpretation of this is correct. I'm only telling you what I know based on what I've studied and what I've read. Okay. I don't know what was in Bette Midler's heart when she sang it. I do not know what was in Judy Gold's heart when she wrote it. I do know that when in 1990 we had a Gulf War going on, and that's when this song became popular or became noticed, because during the Gulf War, this song was released in 1990, and it kind of carried that message, from a distance. God is watching. Maybe we can act a little better, because everything is really pretty beautiful from a distance. It's like being in a bar around 1:50, if it closes at 2, at 1:50, and look across the bar and say, that looks nice. He or she looks nice. And then you walk and you get closer and you get closer and you get closer and you get closer and closer. And then it's like, too close, back up. I need to see you from a distance, because when I see you up close, I don't want to take you home. So that was in this segment of looking for God in all the wrong places, like right there up close. That was from a distance, Bette Midler.